Hello, this is a new YouTube video which I tried to upload several times right now, unfortunately, due to some fun with this program called Camtasia Studio. But anyways, we're actually going to try to upload this again. And to start off, this is a new segment that I'm going to be creating every Saturday on news related to technology. And really, what interests me most as far as the news is concerned is stuff that maybe most people wouldn't see or notice unless they use things such as YouTube, which a lot of people do, and I'm surprised there's not enough complaints about this. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was the new YouTube change, and not for the better. It's not a display change, but there have been issues, and I don't think this is a change purposely done, where videos will not render or they won't load until you refresh them, which is quite annoying. I mean, it didn't happen this much several months ago, but in some cases I've had to refresh the video. And for example, sometimes also when you try to go in and skip past certain sections of the video, it literally just freezes. And I'm hoping I can get an example up for you on this. I just selected a random video. I'm not... In this case, it's working. And the problem is that it doesn't always happen all the time. In this case, it's working pretty fine. But let's see if I can find a video, in this case, that won't render properly. I did when I already tried to record this, and then basically my voice sounded like a robot, and nobody really would want to hear that. So apparently this is working quite nicely. Let's try another video, but if we try rendering it, let's say, and it's not my internet service provider, and it's not my friend's internet service provider, because we all have different service providers and we have this problem, and we have pretty decent connection speeds. So if we take, I don't know, let's do an HD 1080p video. So let's take something like this. Let's say we were to go into that 1080p, full screen. Well, I know it could take some time because it's a rendering 1080p video. We're going to mute this. Close that ad. So, as you can see here, if we try to go forward a little bit, in this case it's working, but I can tell you that in the past it has had issues rendering videos, and it's not because I'm trying to render completely at 1080p because of the speed, because I have plenty of speed, and so have my friends, but you really have to get lucky, well, not so lucky in order to spot it, but there have been issues. Now, there's also another little thing they've added to this, and I'm not sure if everybody has noticed this, but you see that little red bar added to that? That's a new little feature I think they've added to show you that you're loaded onto another video. Now, yes, thankfully, I'm able to depict this problem. It freezes, just like you saw in this segment, and if I tried to go any further or backwards, it will render, but it's not going to render completely on here, which is quite annoying. Sure, if you pause it and you go backwards, and as you can see, if you pause it and let it play back, it might go past that point. Maybe. But as you can see, it's frozen. So I did get what I wanted to get out of this, basically by trying very hard. Now, it's a glitch. I mean, it won't fully load this video, for example. And it's not my ISP. Believe me, I can go to speed test right now and tell you I'm faster than 10 megabits, or even more than that, which obviously you don't need much to render these videos either. I'm going to prove this right now. Cox Communications is my ISP, so now you know a general idea of who my internet service provider is. And based on my IP address, this is what I will be getting. So obviously, holy cow. Ooh, I like that. Okay, that made my day. Usually I get 22 megabits per second. This is almost 28. So I think they're boosting the speed a tiny bit, which is quite nice actually. So yeah, so obviously I'm not having an issue with speed here, and they don't throttle as much, nor do they throttle YouTube videos. They do throttle other things though. So that's what I wanted to talk about first, and understand that this has happened, and I want users to reach out and say, we've had this happen to us too, so Google can be more aware of this issue, which I'm sure they already are. I've also noticed that they've changed the logo kind of to look more like the older logo that they've had, which is, it's fine. I'm not too big of a fan of the complete minimalistic look to it. Now, this is what I want to talk about. We're going to go to HP, and obviously with Windows 8 there are some new tablets and new PCs out there. However, I've just discovered this on the HP Facebook page, but we're going to go look at what operating system we can get for the end user. Oh wait, we have Android. Now look at this. There is an all-in-one desktop PC that is running Android OS. So, my first thought was, it's kind of cool. Android does not have enough applications to support 1920 by 1080, however, they are making phones that support that regardless. So they're trying to make stuff. And Android does support mice and keyboard. There hasn't been an issue with that. It obviously uses a different processor because it wouldn't have been compatible. Would have been interesting to see them allow Windows RT to be dual booted on this. I'm sure that hack will come out for this particular machine, which is $400. Now, it's very cheap. I want to take you down to the specs at the bottom first. I'm not trying to give anything away. You have a HD webcam, built-in integrated speakers, blah, blah, blah. And if we look at the display, it's a touchscreen. It's an HD, obviously, if you're running Android, you should have a touchscreen. It's a 1920 by 1080 touchscreen, which is wonderful. It comes with 3 USB 2.0 ports, obviously no USB 3. There's a headphone/microphone out jack. Now let's go backwards. First thing I don't like is an integrated 10100 Ethernet. Come on, we are in the year 2013. Gigabit Ethernet has to be on every machine. God, it's only a slight bother because, honestly, when you're using the internet, it's not going to matter. But if you're transferring apps, forget it. It's not great for speed as far as if you want to transfer file data. But you're not going to be using that much on an Android tablet. But regardless, it would be nice to have it. The other thing is NVIDIA GPU, which is great. It has 72 cores for gaming, so it is, in a sense, a very cool gaming desktop PC. It's weird saying that. So there's a hard drive, which is memory. It's not really a hard drive. So there's 8 gigs of flash memory, if you will, because there's a difference between memory and flash memory. Flash memory is the storage. So with that, you have 8 gigs, which is not really enough, in my opinion, especially if you're running an Android operating system, and at the same time you're trying to get apps. However, there is an SD card slot if you want to upgrade. Now, if you look at the memory, and you think of an all-in-one PC having a gig of memory in the year 2013, it's sort of weird. I'm not sure if you can update it. However, it is DDR3 memory, which is a little bit different from the memory they put in the smartphones. So it might actually run decently. But I don't know how DDR3 memory runs on an Android device because it's kind of new. So it's got 4.2 Jelly Bean. If we take a look at the pictures, which are pretty neat, if we click on demo, we can actually see it loaded. And I think this is pretty cool. So it's a 1920 by 1080 res. So I mean, that's cool enough as it is. And obviously, you can use it as a tablet, which is odd. I think it's got a little battery backup in it, too, as you can see right there. So, it's weird. I find it so weird. I don't know what to make of it. It's obviously has its own UI on it from HP, which is going to probably work better with the mouse and the keyboard in it, as well as touch. So, it's cool. I don't know what to make of it. It's going to be interesting to see other reviews. Obviously, you see the SD card and the headphone/microphone jack. Power on, power off, volume buttons, and it comes with a mouse and keyboard. So, I mean, it is cool. It's a cool idea, and I think we're getting closer and closer to have Android be part of the desktop operating system because there's so many apps out for it. Having said that, it's more likely that for the future we'll have... Hopefully you didn't try to call me again. anyways, I digress. Hopefully more for the future. This, I'm holding my Samsung Galaxy S4. I was hoping that we could just dock this in a PC monitor setup and have multiple PCs and connect and use our phone for everything. Maybe that is the future for mobile tech. I don't know, but that would be very cool to come home and just use your phone as your primary PC device. I think that would be cool, and I think this is somewhat a step in that direction. So, reviewing this stuff, again, you have an Android 4.2 Jelly Bean on it. You have the Tegra 4, you have a gig of DDR3 memory, like I said, a little bit different. You have integrated speakers, and you have a 23-inch device. A 21-inch device. It might be good. It might work out. It would be very cool to see this thing in action. I'm hoping that I can do some video spotlights on this particular device, because it's really interesting to me that they've decided to go this way. It's different, and I think it might actually work in some situations, not all situations. So that is the HP Slate 21-inch. I figured I would discuss this. Now it's on to the tablet side of things. So there's some really interesting new tablets out there that from HP that run Android that kind of do the same thing that the Nexus 7 does, and I don't recommend really. They're good, but they're not as good as the Nexus 7, and the Nexus 7 is well worth the price that you pay for it. Now, they have a Windows PC tablet coming out, but it's not out yet, and I want to discuss the Windows PC tablets. So that's what I'm going to discuss right now. So, in the past, there was a lot of Windows 8 tablets that were really, really, really expensive. Spotlight the Surface Pro, that if you wanted a full version of Windows, you had to end up getting this Surface Pro, and it would end up costing you. Now there's some new tablets out there that I want to point out that are okay. In this case, this is actually rating it a 3 out of 5. I'm just giving you an example of a Tegra tablet. This is a 10-inch tablet, and the problem I have with these Windows 10-inch tablets, maybe not with this one specifically, but I have a Windows RT tablet that I'm just using for a demo for some things. It doesn't feel like a good tablet to hold in your hands because it's so wide. I prefer that 4:3 iPad aspect ratio only because it's less wide. Now, there are other tablets that have a wider screen, granted, that are less of a pain when you're typing, but this is just an example. This is running a Atom processor, and it's a quad-core, I believe, maybe on this one, and it's gotten okay reviews. I mean, it's pretty decent, but it allows you to use use it as a Windows 8 tablet. Now, based on these reviews, 3 out of 5, that's pretty bad. It says decent battery life, it freezes, it's slow, doesn't have Windows 8 Pro. Okay. Oh. It's running an Atom processor and has Windows 8 RT. Forget I even mentioned this. I was just trying to pull out a quick example of what would be running. No wonder it's a 3 out of 5. Windows 8 RT is not something you want unless you're in a specific way. And excuse me for a second while I answer this phone. Okay, so as I do this, I'll try to have less interruptions, but regardless, this is kind of live-ish, and it's not really a, let's say, pre-made up, so I apologize for any, for that. But anyways, moving on. So Windows 8 tablets are new, and the only decent ones that have come out so far are the Windows 8 Surface tablets, and I mean Pro. Because RT is something you don't want to mess with. Now, the new Surface tablet, while we go over this, is basically... Oops. Basically in the wrong area. So, it's called the Microsoft Surface Pro, and if you already don't know about it, it's fully fledged Windows, has an i5 dual core, and it runs pretty decently. I've used it quite a bit. This is the Pro 1, which is using an old architecture. There's actually a Pro 2, which is supposed to be so much better for battery life. I would actually suggest looking at that. But what I'm interested in, as far as the news side is concerned, there's some new tablets out, and I want to discuss that. The Surface Pro 2 is one of them. So if we actually go, and hopefully my internet doesn't cause me hassle, but I know it's not just my internet with this. Obviously, I've had Camtasia issues. If we type in, there's a Dell Venue. It's called the 8 Pro. I'm especially excited for this because with this Dell Venue 8 Pro, it's gotten pretty decent reviews. It's got a better screen than some other competitors, and it's actually relatively affordable at $299 for a Windows Pro tablet. And I'm hoping it comes with that little stylus. That would be nice. Now, this thing is very interesting. If we look at the specs of the Venue 8 Pro specs, and again, if we take a look here, and it's all speculation, but most of it is true. There should be some. There's a 1280 by 800 display, and that wasn't helpful. Let's see here. This is a review from TechRadar in this case, but it would be nice to see more specs. There we go. No specs. Anyways, I can tell you the specs off of hand anyways. It's actually got 2 gigs of memory, which is pretty decent. It has, again, Windows 8 Pro. It is basically an 8-inch, and it's not rocking a 1080p resolution like this article happens to be saying. It's actually I believe it's 1366 by 768, to be quite honest with you. And comes in 2 colors, as it was saying, black and red. And it actually, it really is a cool-looking tablet because, again, it is that 8-inch, nice paperweight, 4:3, it seems, aspect ratio. Actually, if it's 1366 by 768, it's really a widescreen, but it's thinner. And I really like that paper aspect of it. You know, having it like a book. That's what this is. And what's really cool is it has a micro SD slot. It also has a USB as far as micro USB, and you can use an adapter to get regular USB on it, which is really neat. And again, it comes with I believe it comes with a stylus. So this is really, really cool. This device, it's going to be coming out probably next week for pre-order. It is Geek Impulse buy. I will say that already. For $300, you basically can't go wrong. It is not spotting in 1080p resolution, though, like they're saying. But it actually is, according to these reviews, it is snappy, but I wouldn't trust somebody who says it's running 1080p when it's not. And it is a nice form factor, and it can, as this article does state, it is very manageable in your hands. So I'm really excited about this. I will include the links to people's articles because they do deserve to get credit, TechRadar in this case. But I'm just saying, as far as the micro SD, it's pretty good. I mean, they say it feels plasticky. Who cares? I mean, it's a Windows 8 tablet. I don't even want to get into netbooks because netbooks were horrible. This is the solution for netbooks. It's running an Intel Atom quad-core, on the other hand, with hyper-threading, might I add, actually. So it's not bad. And I would actually suggest taking a look at that tablet. So this is about the new Dell Venue 8. And it actually is something I'm really excited about, and I'm actually probably going to end up purchasing. So that's the Venue 8. And the Surface 2, now if you compare, the Surface 2 is a better device. The Surface Pro 2, to be more specific. Because the Surface Pro 2 has a i5 processor, which is better than the Core series. It is basically, it's very expensive. And it hasn't come out yet, so the Surface Pro 2, but it will be better than the Surface Pro 1, for example, and it will also have the new Haswell processors, which really, really run well. It can be configured with 4 to 8 gigs of memory. This only has 2 on the other one. Its storage can go from 32, 64, or even 128. I think it might have a 256, which would actually be ridiculous. So if we take a look at the Surface Pro, which obviously is very expensive. Holy crap, never mind. It goes past 256, which is impressive on its own. It goes to half a terabyte of freaking space. Now, obviously, this is a premium tablet. This is the tablet to get. However, Geek Impulse by $300 versus $1,800 is a big difference. I cannot wait to really try out the Windows 8, but this is a better tablet, which I will be saving up for as well in the future. However, a $300 tablet versus this to try out is well worth it. And what's really cool about this is it gives you 200 gigs of SkyDrive storage and unlimited Skype messages, Skype minutes, I should say, which allows you to make Skype phone calls. It gives you the free pen, which is nice. It has a 1080p display. It has Windows 8.1 and a decent battery life. And what's really nice about it are these type covers, which are really cool. Don't get the touch covers because they're more like, they're just like a mat you're typing onto. However, this is very cool, and really because you can have your kickstand. It'll basically be a tablet and a notebook computer. That is the solution. It has the clicking keyboards. It has a backlight on it. This is a really cool device. However, judging on the price point, the cheapest one you can get is $900. But if you're a student, you can get it for $800 because you get a discount on that. So that is the Surface 2. And the Dell Venue 8 Pro is very cool. They also have a 10-inch Pro. There's also another one, actually, that Asus Transformer. And it's Windows 8. So there's actually a Transformer. That's the book. And I think this is actually it. Maybe not. Nope, that's not it. And here we go. This is the trail of 8.1. Now, it basically, let's see here. Venue 8, Toshiba's Encore, there's another one, and Transformer Book T100. There's a couple of options if you're looking for that cheap tablet. Now, this is really kind of cool. This basically, for just $3.99, you can pick up blah, blah, blah. Again, this article is UMPC Portal. I'm just taking it from an article, but it is a Transformer book with a quad-core 1.33 gigahertz quad-core with, obviously, the Turbo Boost, which goes up to 1.8 gigahertz. Comes with a nice, here's the advantage of this one, which I am considering, I might add. It comes with the nice keyboard, which is a little nice feature, obviously, if you want that keyboard. Now, it will make it a little bit heavier. It has a 1366 by 768 resolution, which is quite nice, and it's running Windows 8.1 32-bit OS, which it includes Office software. That's nice. So that's something to consider, and I will be highly considering this now for $400 versus the $300, but it should get you the notebook form factor. It only weighs 1.2 pounds, and the unit together is 2.4, which is quite nice. So that's something to consider. It is really nice. I'm pretty sure it's actually, Asus really doesn't do bad when it comes to the Transformer series of things. Let's also check out the Toshiba Encore, which is another one. I believe this is one of the first tablets that they have. This tablet, and again from UMPC Portal, the same website we went to for the Transformer. Maybe it's my internet with YouTube, but other people are having this issue as well. It could be more than that. It basically is, I thought the Encore came out. That's why I'm wondering. I think CNET released an article on this, by the way. Plus Acer. Acer did one. So, Oh, okay. This is another one. We're having fun with 8-inch tablets, basically, here. Yeah, the Encore 8-inch basically has a 1280 by 800 resolution. Again, it features the Bay Trail Atom processor, which, again, we talked about is that quad-core processor. And, yeah, now it's cheaper. This is cool. I'm enjoying this very much because cheap Windows 8.1 tablets are going to be great. Because 8.1 really works with custom as far as the what it's designed for. It works with custom resolutions, which is really nice and really works well with the 8-inch tablet feel. Kind of ironic. Windows 8 should work with Windows 8.1 tablets because it's a 8-inch tablet. But anyways, I'm really going on here. The Toshiba Encore goes for sale at $329. If it comes with that right there, hands down, it basically is a very cool. This is probably something different though, right here. This is a satellite NBT. This is the 8-inch. So I have a lot of options, and I've got to think about what I want to get for a tablet. But this is really about what's really cool is that there are tablets out there that are running Windows 8.1, and they are an 8-inch form factor, which is the form factor I'm looking for between 7 and 8 inches. Because obviously I have the Surface Pro, not the Surface Pro, the Surface RT, and it's hard to hold in your hand. I'd prefer an iPad to hold, but the 8-inch form factor is going to be nice. I'm looking forward to these tablets, and this is really just a taste of what I'm going to start doing. I'd like to start developing my own articles rather than using other people's articles, which, again, are their articles, and I'm not trying to take anything from it except for the specs. I'm not trying to quote their articles completely, just know that the specs are out there, and these devices are coming. It is very, very cool to see that these devices are coming, and the Atom processor is getting lifted and not being crap. Because the Atom processor on the netbook was horrible. So, anyways, that's pretty much it, what I have to say today as far as my news. I will try to make it around a half hour each time, or even less, depending on feedback. So I'm looking forward to your feedback on this new segment of basically looking at news articles, and we're going to discover what's available for the consumer. And I'm really excited about these Windows 8 tablets because it'll get used in my job, and I will really like doing it with networking. So, thank you guys again for watching this video. If you like my videos, definitely give it a thumbs up, and continue to subscribe. I will gladly release new videos, and I apologize it hasn't been a while because it basically was because I've been procrastinating on the upload because Camtasia has given me problems. So hopefully these problems are resolved. I can upload this video and we'll be all set. So thank you guys again for watching this video. Definitely like this video, share it with your friends, and continue watching. Thank you.